So this is a rearranged race from earlier. It should have been race 31 in the programme at 12 o'clock, but because there was some illness in Northeastern University, who were there on that far side against their opponents from America, University of Pennsylvania. Basically, there was some illness in the Northeastern crew. One of these women had to sub into the town crew, the fours, who I think lost their race. But she is now back, having recovered, and now in the 8. So it's a match-up of Northeastern University USA against University of Pennsylvania A Crew USA.
Yeah, University of Pennsylvania came 4th at the NCAA, so they were a very fast outfit here. The Northeastern University, part of the Colonial Athletic Association, was their division they were in, and they were 6th in that division. And that, you know, on paper you say this shouldn't be this close this early on. But Northeastern here really are sticking on to Pennsylvania here.
The Quakers on this near side are really going for it, aren't they? Really opening those bodies out. Look at the 6th girl in the Quakers, Brooke Carragher. Look at the way her body opens out, Abe.
Yeah, she really is so explosive, isn't she? The way her body moves away from her legs really does add a lot of power, and that really amplifies the rhythm for the rest of the crew.
If you wonder who the Quakers are, that's what University of Pennsylvania go by, their name that they go by in the States.
You can see here now, just very quickly, they've gone from being 1/3 of a length up to be almost a length up, and that's happened really quite quickly. They're just sustaining their speed a bit more. I think it looks to me like Northeastern really went as hard as they could, and then that was the highest speed they could generate.
Yeah, I guess Joe Wilhelm, the coach of Northeastern, is going to say you've got to go out early in this race and hang on, and they did that. But you know, Penn just knew that, and we're coming down to halfway to Fawley in this contest between University of Pennsylvania on the left-hand side of your picture and Northeastern University USA on the right-hand side of your picture. There are the women from Penn coming past the halfway point.
The 4th fastest crew at the American National Championships. This is the whole crew racing here, that all of them have come over to do this. You can see how cohesive a unit they are, and powerful, aren't they?
Yeah, they're a really powerful crew. They're run with those kind of comp blades, aren't they? Sort of if you look at the shape of them, you might get a shot of them. But there's the blades of Northeastern. Just hold that in your mind, and we'll see if we can get a shot. Look at those, they're Northeastern blades.
So they're traditional shape, aren't they?
Traditional shape, and so we might get a shot of the blades of the Penn crew.
So, but even they look at really well drilled together, very cohesive the way they row. All trying to do all the right kinds of stuff. And, you know, when you come up against an opposition like this, you know, you put everything in the beginning to try and stay competitive. There's not more you can do than that, is there?
So let's have a look at the blades of Penn. Let's just talk us through that blade shape, Adrian.
It's very different, isn't it? It's almost like a bit of a teardrop at the bottom of them, isn't it? The spoons are a bit narrower, so they're not as long from sort of middle of the shaft outwards.
Why would a crew choose to row with blades like that?
Sometimes it's a bit of a fad or a preference. I think it's quite hard to do real testing to find out which spoons are better. And this is just preference, isn't it? Why do you use one boat instead of another? Why do you use a Philippe instead of an alpaca?
I've heard Imogen Grant say that it's easier on the front end. There's the Penn crew, Caroline Susker in the bows, Alessandra Benny and Catherine Moore in the 3 seat with the cap on, Hannah Lemovitz. Up 4, Alexandra Willie, Brooke Carragher. We talked about her power in the 6 seat, the 20-year-old. Amelia Demopoulos in the 7 seat, loves a bit of knitting, Amelia. Josephine Nopka in the stroke, 2-time team captain, and Cox Sophia Porich, 22 years of age.
So there's only one athlete in this whole race that's been here before. It's Isla Bathgate in the 2 seat of the Northeastern crew. Everybody else here, this is their first time at the regatta.
So if you're watching this in the States, we love the fact you're enjoying this Henley Royal Regatta presentation, and we're so glad to have you. In fact, if you're watching from anywhere in the world, it's great that we've got your company. I'm Martin Cross, with me is Adrian Cassidy. This is the last race before tea, the reorganised contest between Northeastern University and the Quakers of University of Pennsylvania. They're on the left of your shot. We can see them there.
So Martin, how do they handle the fact that they had to race over 4 hours later than they originally planned?
That is a great shout, because basically you've got in your mind the whole routine, haven't you, for racing from last night, and then you've kind of got to change your routine. I think they would have gone out for a paddle this morning, as you know, and that probably won't have changed.
Yeah, and then they just basically would have had an extra meal they wouldn't have planned to do. They would have had to they've probably gone back, have a bit of a sleep in the morning, get up, have a meal, then come back and get ready. But it's quite a big thing to change, isn't it? I mean, I know it's both crews it's affecting, but it's still a big change.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think...
Brown looking control here now, don't they? They're really starting to have that patience on the back end and let the boat do more of the work.
Penn,
sorry. Yeah. They're coming up here to halfway down the Stewards enclosure now. Only 150 metres or so to go.
Yeah, I feel a bit sorry for Northeastern. They had the illness in the crew, the rearranged race, which I don't think they managed to win. And this looks like they're going to go out on the Friday, but still racing flat out, aren't they, as University of Pennsylvania?
And they've won 2 races to get to this point. They beat Radcliffe on first day, and then they beat Walker yesterday. So they've won 2 races to get to this point.
So in this heat of the Ireland Challenge Cup for University Women's 8, it is the University of Pennsylvania A crew who crossed the line first, ahead of their opponents from Northeastern USA. They love that, the women from Penn.